We covered it and then we brought you stories about that. So let's bring the insert now and then we'll sizzle it all down with a conversation.
Jobs in 10 years. But to be honest with you, a machine, a plant, is the only thing that can give you jobs in 3 different shifts. 8 hours times 3 a day. That is what I call 24-hour economy. You need industrialization. Who sells Gary for 24 hours in Makola? The women in Kejetia and Kantamanto cannot work for 24 hours. It would take a factory. It would take a plant, a production line to give 3 shifts a day. No industrialization, no 24-hour economy. I have brought you your economic freedom.
That's how you can get a USA phone number from anywhere in the world for less than $1.
About food, I've been talking about gold reserves. I've been talking about food reserves. All these reserves, it's for the states. It's for the nation. This is what I call a Japadier. The real Ejapadier. Because you need an equity of what belongs to you. As one, we have to have a share of whatever that is on our grounds. We have to get jobs from it. We have to create wealth out of it. And we have to get the skill set out of what belongs to us. It's on our ground. We are the landlords of Ghana. It should be shared among us equally. But with all the reserves, there's one thing that I would like to add. And I know we probably never thought of it. But why do we buy money? Why do we have to go to England or go to Switzerland, to Delarue, to print our money? And after we fly or ship the money, before we have money? What happened to the industrial power that we're creating now? We are going to print money at home. We don't need to go to England or America to print money. We don't need to.
Yes, so there's one on the currency revitalization, which is part of the 7 non-negotiables, and we'll get to that, and Hubert will break that down for us. But Hubert, what's the core ideology that Nana Kwame Bediako and the New Force movement is trying to drive to be able to transform Ghana?
Well, good morning once again. Good morning to all the New Force members, especially to Nana Kwame Bediako. If you make an attempt, Malti, to get into the mind of Nana Kwame Bediako, what you see is a very successful young businessman who is concerned about where the country is heading to. And he seeks to move the country from reckless spending to a realm of investment and purchasing. And once you get into that realm, you are thinking of prudential management. And the practice of prudential management emanates from a conviction of what is ethically and aesthetically right, and most importantly, what is economically expedient. This is the main agenda of Nana Kwame Bediako: investment and development, making the country profitable and great.
Okay, investment, development, making the country profitable. Let's go through the 12 pillars of economic freedom proposed by the New Force movement. I mean, it spans from gold to, agriculture, transportation, water. I remember when he mentioned taking the sea to Kumasi or expanding the waterways to the Ashanti region, and maybe the concept didn't go down well with a lot of Ghanaians because they kept saying, how is this possible? So kindly walk us through what the apostolic governance seeks to do.
Well, the apostolic governance is simply running the country with just 12 ministers
okay.
and a president. And I know that some Ghanaians think this is not achievable, and it's not realistic, but it's not their fault. Ghanaians conceptually are aware and know what they want, but experientially, politicians and bad leadership have made us believe that what we want is not achievable. And if we are ever going to achieve it, we need a largesse of ministers and civil servants. And the president has to single-handedly appoint 6,000 people, of which majority are unproductive. This is what we want to put an end to. We want to run the leanest and most efficient governance model ever in the history of African politics. This is the apostolic governance.
Well, does it still go to say that the fewer the better? I mean, couldn't a fewer ministers still loot and share?
Well, the essence is not about looting and sharing. The essence is about efficiency.
Okay.
And the engineers will tell you that less is more. You know, we have built a culture of the desire for clutter. And when you get into engineering, it can be financial engineering, it can be mechanical engineering, you see that there is beauty in simplicity. So it's not about the looting and the sharing, it's more about the efficiency.
Right. So, I mean, let me bring in some of the things that the new force, your leader, has said that he would do. Connecting regions, the 16 regional, development plan. I heard him say that the Western region is the richest region in the country, $412 billion worth of minerals, agric, all of what we need to transform our economy and not be, dependent on foreign support or help. What is the plan for the regional transformation, the 16 regional transformation as well?
Great question. Our country has gotten to a point where we have to be serious. And by that, we mean that we have to get every region activated. And the way you do that is to first deconcentrate the capital.
Okay.
And next, you have to devolve power from the central government. And then next, you have to make the country truly fiscally decentralized. Don't
you say that's already happening with the district assemblies?
No, it isn't. It's a facade. It's an illusion of democracy. Our constitution makes the president a de facto dictator.
Does it?
Yes, it does. And these are some of the things we seek to change. We want to make every region profitable. And that's why we are not going to appoint regional ministers.
Okay.
The regions must be run by CEOs. So we tell Ghanaians that we need to run the regions with 16 CEOs who have actual executive duties. These CEOs are to oversee, supervise, and make sure that the industries we are going to set up deliver and they meet set KPIs. And so you mentioned the Western region. The Western region has attributable mineral resources, nominally, of about $412 billion. And if you consider compound annual growth rates or growth return of gold alone, and you make a 10-year projection, you are talking about $1.5 trillion of wealth in the central Western region. And you cannot say that they feel this in their pockets. But why has it happened this way? This is what we want to change. We want to make all the regions work again.
Okay. Want to make all the regions work again? Let's break it down. The regions have food. They have water transportation. They have mineral resources. If you're connecting the regions, making them independent,